Greatness, greatness. Greatness is yours once you claim it. I am Keystone. I'm a synthesizer of energy, frequencies, and information that generates increases of consciousness, self awareness, and self love for those who do not know who they are or the power they possess. This is Code Red. This is Code Red. Well, just jumping out here to end 2020 to put 2021 in perspective for myself. Shoot, at my age, I've seen and done many things in life, and what's going on right now, I never imagined would even exist, especially in America. So, not going to venture too much off into that unless that's something that's, desired to be spoke about. But other than that, what I'm saying, we're going to be open to speak about, you. And that's the one important thing that people don't realize that is missing with anything that they do in life is themselves. We go through life and we, get told what to do. We follow other people. We conform. TV, movies, music, peers, non-peers, pressure, just all kind of things outside of you. But the one thing that goes unmentioned, unnoticed, actually the most disrespected thing that exists inside this world is you. And you are the one disrespecting yourself. The way that you're disrespecting yourself is by you looking outside of you to take care of what's inside of you. The only thing that's outside of you that is used for inside of you, it has to be from nature. If it's not natural, it's not nature. It's not confusing, but it can be if you allow people that wear white coats or have a gang of initials and letters behind their name and sit at a podium and, with a microphone and, shit, that's really pretty much all it is to me. I see people at a podium with a microphone, a white coat, people standing behind them. They read a script, get from in front of the camera, you never know what they do after that. So actually, like I said, this is going to be about life, especially right now at this point. Life has handed everybody in the world a bag of lemons. Actually, life didn't hand them to them. They smacked everybody in the head with them. So with your bag of lemons, what you going to do? I mean, you have an option, you have a choice, you have a decision to make. You can either take your bag of lemons, you can sell it to somebody else. You can take your lemons and cook with them. You can put them in the cabinet until they rot. Or what I like to do with my lemons, I love to make lemonade. But unfortunately, the way that most people live their life and the way everything is structured is that for those that want or desire to make lemonade, it has to be a choice. But right now, where we at this point in life, in this world, in this dimension, in this universe, whether you make the lemonade or not, pretty soon you're going to be drinking lemonade. So I'm the type that like to drink my own. So that's what I'm doing with my lemons. So again, whether you use your lemons or somebody uses your lemons for you, you're going to be drinking lemonade. The unfortunate thing about it is the way that they're doing things to you right now. Who's to say that's going to be lemonade inside that glass with all that ice, with the sweat on the outside of the glass, and they hand it to you? Might be a big ass glass of piss. You're going to drink it anyway because they have a white coat on and they told you it's good and it's lemonade. Yeah, bunch of sheep. But anyways, like I said, I'm doing this. I'm putting myself out to share with the world what's really going on. If they listen or not, it'll all be revealed shortly. So again, when I first started on this journey to evolve to get to this point, I had the idea that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna save the world, I'm gonna spread all this information, and boom, 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 we're just gonna build, and all evil was gonna be destroyed, and reality smacked me because actuality, Many people aren't interested in gaining information or evolving or going past their current state of where they are now. In order to do that, you have to make a decision. I remember when I was younger, business gentleman I was with, I'll go ahead and call him a mentor to a degree. And he straight up, exposing me to business, having me in business meetings. And at the age that I was at, I felt extremely uncomfortable because I'm mid 20s, younger than my 30s, and I'm sitting in these city meetings, Chamber of Commerce, and all these people that definitely didn't have anything in common with me at all. But I'm saying that's really what it was. So, I shied away from that because it was like, dang, oh no, I don't have anything to do with them people. But what it was is I was on a lower frequency than them. So to get to where I'm at now and where I'm going, I could have been doing that before the turn of the century or millennium. But no, I didn't. So here we are. Well, again, the title is When Life Gives You Lemons, You Make Lemonade. So when people make lemonade, I ask people, what are their ingredients? And lemons, water, sugar, fresh fruit. If you don't like sugar, whatever sweetener, or, as I got older, I got good. I could drink lemon water with no sugar. In my younger years, that wasn't happening. So there's something missing because you got your lemons, you got your water, sugar, fresh fruit. Something's missing. So you take, so lemons, water, sugar, fresh fruit. All right, well, we'll figure it out eventually. But really, are you, where we are right now, it's no time to fold. I mean, honestly, where we are, these people have showed you their hand. They've exposed their hand to you. Think about it. Do you know how hard it is to shut down a city block so you can have a parade, marathon race, block party, or whatever, even for an accident? Do you know the amount of resources and the coordination that has to happen in order for that to take place successfully? So, you got to contact the city, tell the city the date, then the city's going to allocate the resources, and, the resources are going to be out there. So the manpower comes in, they come with the barricades, and they come with the lights and the flares or the signs and arrows and sign holders and, so on and so forth. So that's a lot of resources just to shut down, a couple of blocks. Now, think about that on the world level. The world level. What would it take to shut down the world in less than a week? Maybe even 2 weeks. Think about that. Many people don't want to acknowledge that, but for real, think about it. The whole world shut down in a week or two. And then all of a sudden, propaganda and conditioning and rhetoric and dogma and just a bunch of silliness to me. But that's because, I'm truly fortunate that I made a decision a long time ago to seek higher knowledge, right information. And by doing so, this is basically, it's writing on the wall. So once, they played their hand, shit, I was good to go. Like, oh, okay, this is fake. This is phony. I wonder if it's going to last, or, if people really are going to, get involved, participate, buy into it. But Yeah. Everybody. Well, can't say everybody. I'm not included in that, but the major majority of the people, they bought into it. You know what I'm saying? They tell you to put this stuff over your nose and mouth and walk around and live your life. And I'm like, what? Man, no way. If this stuff is so contagious, so viral, and just everything that they portray it as, we would need to be walking around in one of those hazmat suits that they went and got ET in. So for those that are younger than myself, go check it out. But those my age, if you remember ET, remember what they wore before they went inside to go get ET? That's what we will be walking around right now. And if what they're talking about is as dangerous as it is. Well, anyways, let me get back on topic. But that had to get expressed. Like I said, they showed their hand to you. I mean, what you gonna do? I mean, if you're a card player, you're sitting at the table playing Texas Hold'em, and shoot, there's two aces on the board. The man dropped his, oops, he exposed, he got a pocket pair of aces. Shoot, what you gonna do? You gonna fold, or you gonna play, or you gonna bet? I mean, what, you gonna bluff them? I mean, you have options. But getting up from the table right now is not an option. You get up from the table, you submit. It's submission. So right now, it's a good time to, enjoy whatever 2020 was for you. But get together, friends, family, associates, build communities, communicate, interact, share. Because where things are going right now, it's either going to be highly technical, or we're going back in the day to where we're on the farm. So somewhere in between, you're going to fall or stand or lay down or get down. It's, truly up to you. So, like I said, they showed the hand. And even a better example is, hey, they just move one of their pieces and they said checkmate. Excuse me, check. Now, you had the opportunity to block. I mean, which actually your move is to block because you're forced to by the rules of the game. But unfortunately, the game that they're playing, they don't want you to block. They want you to sit your ass on your couch, keep looking at the TV, shoving food in your mouth, keeping away from water, drinking soda, juice, all kind of other stuff. Don't go outside, get any sun. Don't breathe any oxygen. And don't talk to people. When in your life have you ever known people not to talk to each other? I mean, outside of, people acting tough or just people that don't talk to people. But yeah, them things covering people's faces, man. So they just normalizing this. So when they roll out the next phase of all the BS, and you're already accustomed to covering your face and your mouth and not talking to anybody, so you're complicit with everything that's going on. So, it's pretty, they pretty much could go about it as saying they can presume that you're in agreement because you never stood up and said, no, you're not in agreement. Did you hear what I said? They're assuming that you're in agreement because you never stood up and said that you're not in agreement. That's how the government operates. It's all on you. If you feel that you've been violated, shouldn't you speak up? Do something about it, speak to somebody, make a move. And since you're being violated by your politicians, you're the one that voted them in. But the great thing about it, you're the one that's going to have to get them out. So if you never get them out, you got to go with whatever he does or she does or they do. But yeah, so I said, check or checkmate. It's up to you. I'm going to take their move as a check. And I'm going to counter their move. Many people already knocked the pieces off the board and submitted and slammed the table and pouting in the corner right now, acting scared. This ain't the time. Right now is a very, 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 very exciting period of history. That's how I feel about it. At no point in history outside of what they've written in these books, and what they've written in these books has been a bunch of BS, truly. So the way I look at it now is when I share with people, I let them know, hey, right now is very exciting. This is a very exciting time to be alive, because right now you can choose what and where you're going to go in life. The only thing right now, not many options. You're either going to be a slave or you're going to be free. Two choices: slavery or freedom. I really don't care what you're going to say out of your mouth, because I put in the time, I've done the research, and if you follow history, history repeats itself. At certain points, at certain times, certain eras. And right now, these people are using the exact same playbook that they use all the time. So for you athletes out there, I'm just going to say basketball. Pretty much easy. Everybody understand that. So imagine you playing basketball, and you guys running 5-on-5. All right, so you got your position, you locking your man down, you rotating, what I'm saying, you helping out on the backside, strong side, passing, shooting, doing whatever needs to be done to benefit the team. But now look at your player. Your teammate is folding. And he's still out on the court, but he's folding. And why I say he's folding is because he's falling for the same pump fake every time. Not even the up-to-date pump fake off of a crossover behind the back between the legs. This is like a 1954 pump fake that he's biting, leaving his feet, leaving the man wide open to go underneath, go around, dish it off, or anything he wants to do with the ball. This is what's going on right now. The same pump fake is pumping everybody out. Everybody. All right, so, cool. I'm on the tangent. I'm going to go ahead and ride it for a minute. For instance, for brown people, they're called black people, whatever you want to call yourself, African American, or, whatever. But I'm going to refer to you as brown. So for brown people, wake up. You got to. This is the silliest shit I've ever seen in my life. I mean, honestly, all they have to do is tell you that a white person did something to a brown person. All logic, reason goes out the window, and it becomes personal. Yes, unfortunate that certain things do happen to certain people in those certain areas. But where you are, how are you benefiting you and them by acting the fool where you are? All that's going to do is that's going to vibrate, that's going to spread, and it's going to be a whole bunch of viruses and, a whole bunch of stuff that's unnecessary, drama, static, low vibrational frequencies. And they're ready for that because they know that at one point in time, brown people were extremely spiritual, nothing but spiritual, meaning we were in a higher realm of thinking and operating on a higher frequency that wasn't where we are right now. The thing is the sleight of hand, bamboozle. Somebody observed us and they realized how spiritual we were. So what they did, they introduced us to a shiny thing. The shiny thing, we wanted that. We didn't want the spirit anymore. So what they did is, hey, here you go. You had the shiny thing, and we'll take all this over here. And in order to get that other shiny thing, once they pulled out the second one, it was a fight to get it. I mean, I wasn't there myself personally. Well, maybe I was, reincarnated to be where I am now. But and they pull out a third shiny one. So with scarcity comes fear. With fear comes confusion. And when there's confusion, there's chaos. And when there's chaos, there's violence and a bunch of stuff that goes with it. And that's all they want. They want a bunch of chaos so they could come in with a strong arm, smash everybody down, smack everybody around, and put them in their place and make the rules. And then you got to abide by it because, oh, they're the ones that made everything right. But when you look at it, they're the ones that made everything wrong. But, it takes a certain time to build yourself to relinquish what we've been taught in school. It does. I went through the same school, elementary school, middle school, high school, played sports, did some school stuff, did dirt, did good, just live life, had jobs, businesses, just just living a regular life. And to get to a point in life where I've always been the one that's always questioned. I've been looked at as being difficult because if I ask a question, I would like an answer. And I don't just mean words, I would like an answer. So being younger, my mom would tell me something, I'd be in trouble. And so she'd tell me not to do something, for instance. So me being me, why not? I wasn't being a smart ass. I truly wanted to know why not. So when she told me why not, I could process it and say, okay, I can apply that to other things in life. You know what I'm saying? So because not supposed to do that with that, this over here is similar to that. So if I'm not supposed to do that, then I'm definitely ain't supposed to do this. So that's how I reason. I'm logical and I'm creative. You know what I'm saying? I balance out both sides of the brain. But when I was younger, I was heavily left-sided. I was logical. And, actually, honestly, I probably was more right-sided. I was more creative, extremely creative. But, you know what I'm saying? All of us gets that creativity stomped out of us. If it hasn't happened by middle school, it'll definitely happen by high school. So that's just what it is. But I get in trouble. I'm talking back. I'm talking smack. Whatever I'm getting accused of. You can't tell your mom, she's wrong because. But back when I was younger, you get smacked, slap, belt, whatever. They call it child abuse now. But the discipline was good. It was needed. I mean, I tell anybody I earned every ass whipping I got. But yeah, just to get back on subject, back on par. It's just life, and there are many things that are left unanswered. But they built the structure around everything to where there's questions that remain unanswered. But they built the structure around them questions, and they tell you, they built the structure around them answers. That's what they've done. They built structures around the answers. So to keep from having to expose the answers, they do their damnedest to get you from asking questions. That's truly what it is. I mean, when you ask a question, if you ask a question and the answer, a deep thought out question, and their answer is just like that, or it's because, or it's always been like that, or just pray on it. It's like, what? And and especially at my, when I was younger, I assumed, they say make an ass out of you and me, but I assumed that people that were adults, they had all the information. Especially the way the structure is set up is that teachers, you go to school, teachers in front of the classroom, and definitely teachers and adult. Shoot, for right now, they got all the answers. I didn't know that they had that book that they had to teach out of, but as a child, yeah, they got all the answers. So when you ask a question and they can't answer it, and it's like, what? You don't have an answer. So, wow, okay, well, let me ask another adult. So after you ask a couple of adults, then you realize, like, damn, well, all right, well, maybe no adults know, or the adults around me don't know. So you just lessen the opportunities that you ask these deep questions. And so after a while, You just accept what it is and see what everybody else is doing. And the number one programmer of all is the TV. You watch television, the TV's going to tell you what they want you to know. They're going to tell you what they want you to think. Yeah. That's what it's called, programming. Programming. Television programming. Think about that. Programming. They could have called it many other words, but they call it a program that is broadcasted. So that means this program is broadcasted to everybody that's tuned into that frequency. And the way that you tune into that frequency is turn to your channel. But yeah, that's just what it is. So, you're getting broadcasted all this stuff, how to think, what not to do, where to go, what to think about certain things. So just one good point. So, something happens. So let's say an event happens. You have a something newsworthy. All right, let's just say governmental. We'll just say it like that, just because of where we are right now. So somebody does something or say something, and all right, cool, that's what it is. So after they give their speech, their report or whatever, there are many days or weeks before they do it again or another one. So what you have to listen to is a week or two of tens of other people talking about that particular speech in the manner that they want you to think about it. Think about it. That's why they have a teleprompter. That's why they have people that write scripts. It's all pre-written. The anchors, they don't write their stuff. Probably starting off, but once you get to the major media, the 6 o'clock news, 6:30, 7 o'clock, that prime time news, yeah, that stuff is written out, just pre-planned. Just again, I've done the research, not even on purpose, just searching whatever I was searching for, and like, wow. A whole bunch of stuff. So, I'm gonna attempt to stay on par. I can go left, right, up, down, all around with all kind of stuff. But yeah. Well, all right. So let me go ahead and jump into this. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be going live daily, 2 to 3 to 4 times a day, upwards to half hour to 45 minutes, up to an hour, depending on the participation. So right now it's slow. Probably have one person log in, but it's all good because I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for y'all. So the one person logged in, I appreciate it. But I know the channels are going to grow because of the intentions. I've been building this for years behind the scenes with everything else that you're about to witness that's going to be manifested for me in 2021. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to be sharing with you the mindset, the state of mind that you have to possess to change what's going on in your life. Again, this channel is called Reverse Engineering Destiny. Reverse Engineering Destiny. So if you know anything about reverse engineering, you have to go inside, tinker around, knock a few things around, rearrange a few things, and then you figure out, okay, how to make it run more efficiently than it was running before you delved into it. So that's what you truly have to do to yourself. You have to reverse engineer your destiny, because where you're going right now, that's not where I'm going. I have no desire to go that direction. It's already pre-planned. It's been planned for decades. But, I understand people don't want to hear that. It's hard to accept, but hey, you'll get over it after a while. It burns. Then, after a while, it wears off, and then no more pain. You just go get it full speed if you choose to. So, going over my notes. Yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, so, as I shared with you, the missing ingredient is you. And if you don't see how you're the missing ingredient of the lemonade, is you have to make it. Like I said, if you don't make it, somebody's gonna make it for you. And I guarantee the people in that white coat standing at that podium gonna have a nice frosty cold glass filled with ice full of yellow ass piss for you and tell you it's lemonade. And you're gonna drink it with a smile because he's a doctor. He's a politician. He has initials behind his name. That's the dumbest shit I've seen in my life. When did thinking go out of style? When did thinking start hurting? I mean, to some degree, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say I was enlightened my whole life, but I wasn't a dummy. I thought things out. I knew what to do and not to do, and if I did do, so on and so forth. But like right now, somebody sits on a TV screen and tells you to do something and write on a piece of paper, and you stop whatever you're doing because you read that on a piece of paper, something that a man said. Hey, suit yourself. So, as I said, whether you do anything with the ingredients or not, it's going to be made. And, just on, real sidebar, real quick. I got into, as I evolved in different aspects of, personal growth, development, spirituality, whatever you want to label it, I began to eat healthier. So, I, came across information that, spoke heavily on vibrations, frequencies, transfer of energy, and then also came across, water. Water is a wonderful thing. I'm not going to, sidebar on that, but the point of what I'm saying is that once I learned that you could transfer energy into anything, it was like, wow, that's interesting, And at that point in time where I was in life, it wasn't hard for me to fathom because of the things that I've came across way before I got to that I've accepted. So, shoot, especially when it got to that, that was easy. It made sense. So, I had a friend that used to go to the store. They used to get their. Well, I ain't say they used to. People still go to the store and get their cut chopped up fruit. It looks pretty inside that packaging, and it's quick and convenient. But the thing about it is that you don't know what was going on, the state of mind, the state of spirit, the state of anything that person was in that cut up your fruit, packaged it, and put it up there for you to purchase. Now you're going to get to wherever you're going. You're going to pop that open and just shove it in your mouth and swallow and be good to go. But don't realize that the energy that they transferred into that fruit is now untrapped within you. Yeah, it may sound funny to some people, but hey, you see my face. So what I used to do, I would prepare my own fruit. I'd get my pineapple, core it out, chop it up, squeeze it out, scrape the whatever, I ain't gonna call it bark, but whatever the pineapple skin, scrape all the pineapple out, squeeze the juice out, and enjoy, because I put my love and my intentions into that pineapple. So when I eat that pineapple, that's going to be put inside of me. And so that's just something. I mean, as with anything, the people that prepare your food, you go to a restaurant, I've never worked in the kitchen. I've been in a kitchen and, or as a restaurant, but yeah, ain't nothing high frequency going on back there, man. I mean, high pressure, shit talking, mistakes, close quarters, heat, pressure, hectic. So when you get that food, I mean, you look at it. That cow in the beginning, the cow was slaughtered and murdered in fear. The meat was cut up and packaged and delivered to you. You pull it off the shelf, purchase it, go home, wash it off, throw it on the grill, seasoning, whatever you do, and then you eat it. So the same thing I said about that fruit is the same thing that happens to meat. But we're in a world where if it feels good, we're gonna do it. Never thinking about the ramifications of actually what what's going to be the result of us choosing to do so, especially with eating meat. Myself, yeah, I eat meat. I don't eat as much as I used to. I'm narrowing it down, but yeah, like you said, it's a conscious decision. You're gonna get people to say, "Oh, you're protein" and all this other stuff, but nature put this stuff out here for us. So nature didn't put animals here for you to get protein out of. He put the vegetables here for you. Man's the one that said, "Oh, I'm gonna go bite the hell out of that horse or cow or whatever he was doing." I mean, that was man's decision. So, I mean, and think about that. Think about that. Before people were eating meat, people were eating herbs and vegetables. So, what kind of person, again, what kind of person looks at an animal and wants to slap that on the table and eat? That's a savage person. That's a beast. Somebody uncivilized. To desire to want to watch something in their natural habitat, to kill it, subdue it, and eat it. And eat it. So they're consuming blood, whatever else that animal has is now transferred to that person. So then just think about them people, wherever they came from, eating animals. And then, they were savage. So you can go back to history and you can see the type of people that went from land to land to land to land to land, killing, slaying, and eating meat. Killing, slaying, and eating meat. Yeah, it's a different type of person. You know what I'm saying? If it's natural, it's from the earth, it comes from the soil. That's what we shall consume. But they created a structure that said, hey, it's cool to do what you want to do. You want to eat roaches, you want to eat ants, you want to eat an aardvark, you want to eat an antelope. Hey, do it. Might taste good, but it's probably gonna taste like chicken. Yeah, so well, actually, you know what? So long story short, where we are right now is you're at a point where you get to choose your straw. That's probably the only thing you get to choose. They're gonna let you choose. They're gonna hand you two straws. You're gonna get to choose one of them. Sound familiar? Oh man, but I'm saying, just for me to you, this is a point in time where I'm just gonna share with people, man. Y'all need to become more aware than you already are. Become more aware than you already are. Far more aware than you already are. Go beyond where you are. If you think you're aware enough, you're not. There are certain things going on right now that you're participating in and have no clue whether you believe it or not, so that you're not aware. If it's a question in your mind what this is or what this isn't, you're not aware enough. Do yourself a favor, because if you don't make yourself aware, you better beware. Right now, this ain't the time. To knick-knack over, oh, this, or I feel this, or I heard this. Is, hey, cool. But I tell you what, when they come knock on that door, they're coming right to you, and they're going to tell you what you're going to do. You're going to say what you're not going to do. Again, they're going to tell you what you're going to do. After they tell you what you're going to do, they're going to show you what you're going to do. That's what it is. These are people that live by the creed that might makes right. Conquest is how we take everything. If you can't stop us from taking it, we're going to take it. And right now, they're coming to take you. I mean, just really honestly, man, it's a thing about it's a battle for the mind. They already own every piece of land on the planet. They own all the resources. They have all the currency. They damn near have all the water, well, control over the water. They got control of you physically. All they're missing right now is your mind. Once they take over your mind and they get you to really feel that they can do your body better than nature, they won. They won, hands down. They won. Because there's no way that something artificial is going to be beneficial to something natural. There's simply no way. I mean, just look at your vehicle, your car. You know, you put gas in your car, right? But how many of you would be able to take a bunch of grass or leaves from a tree and stick it in your gas tank and that get converted to energy? Hey, that's something biological that's living, but it can't exist in something that's computerized. Excuse me. Yeah, natural and unnatural do not mix. It can't. You know, they can't they you can say they can coexist, but they really don't. They just operating in their own lane next to each other. You know, one of my favorite movies when I was younger, man, I just thought about this the other day, was the $6 Million Man. Yeah, yeah, the Bionic Man. Hey, whatever. What he was a test pilot, I believe, got in an accident, whatever, and hey, they made him hella stronger, hella faster, and so on and so forth. So he was not complete, and he was a better man once they put the computer in him. So to me, in my generation, in my age, that's where I'm gonna say they planted the seed for that to happen for my generation, for me. Child born in the '70s, raised in the '80s, and got busy in the '90s. So yeah, that was the intro. So that naturally, when it's on TV, you just think, oh man, that'd be great, man. You could jump over buildings, stop cars, smack 10 people just by smacking one person, from the chain reaction or the force from his blow. And it was a good show. But now to see where we are in life, that's truly what they want to do. But they're not going to make you the Bionic Man. You're going to be you're going to be a computer. And I'm sure. I mean, I know I can go back in the day when I tell you what. Let me go back. When I really felt funny, I really got a funny feeling. So I used to work at a call center. One of the and so I got to learn about cell phone technology and everything, because pretty much you had to be you pretty much got a degree in cell phone technology, because training back then was, I think, was like 6 weeks before you hit the floor. So in this 6 weeks of training, you learning all kind of stuff about phones, technology, how they work, so on and so forth. So it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we got a free cell phone to go with it. And so because they, the purpose of them giving you the free cell phone is they say that, hey, it don't make sense for you to be answering questions from customers about the cell phone if you don't know how to use the cell phone. So no complaints from me at all. Not at all. So, I think I was issued an i700, the big rubberized construction phone. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you what, if I could get my hands on that phone right now, that's what I would be carrying around. Because I remember one time I dropped a friend of mine off, and after I helped my friend carry this stuff up to their house, and saying I was leaving, when I was helping take bags out the car, I put my phone on the hood of my car. And, after I, jumped in the car, I took off, and I was like, damn, hit my, looked on the side of my seat and didn't have my phone. So, I retraced myself. I'm like, man, but, I didn't get not too far from the house, but, I was on a major roadway. And so when I retraced my steps, and, I was like, oh, shoot, the phone fell off the roof of the car. Man, the I-700 didn't even have a scratch. Maybe it had a scuff on the rubber. From that point forward, I was good. I was like, man, there's no other better phone for me. But naturally, it went out of style, and it got modernized and got smaller, and color screens and TVs and all kind of things got put into this phone. So when it got to the point when the new phones came out, and they were called Androids. Androids. When I was younger, I was in the science fiction, but I got out of science fiction around the time, not too long after Buck Rogers. That was like my show. Buck Rogers and I think it was Battlestar Galactica were my shows. My pops, Star Trek, no, no, thank you. But Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers. After that, I didn't mess with sci-fi, but I knew enough at that point forward, what was mechanized and computer and robots and all that stuff. So fast forward to them dropping this new phone and they call it the Android. I remember talking to people like, man, that's not good. Oh, Kenny, you tripping. You tripping. Like, what? Nah, that's not good. Nah. So I stuck with my phone with the I think it had the might have they had the SIM card. I forgot the technology before they went to the Android, but yeah, I rode that phone for a while before I stepped into a dumb phone, not a smartphone, a dumb phone. So the Android. So I remember one of my friends, one of the first ones I knew that had an Android. So I'm looking at it, and it was interesting, touch screen, but the thing that tripped me out, I don't activate it on mine. I don't recall what phone they had, but they held the phone up and it scanned the area to let them know what restaurants, what key points of interest, and so on and so forth was within their vicinity of their current location. I said, what? Y'all don't see what's going on, but at that time, I didn't say much. I definitely didn't have the knowledge that I acquired, throughout the years after that, but I knew enough to say, no, thank you. You hold the phone up in the air and it's scanning everything around and tell you key points of interest. Like, man, what else is that phone doing? It's doing a whole lot of things that you have no clue about. But, people with the technology, they love it. And the thing about technology, you can look at technology like a gun or an axe. Let's use axes. Let's use an axe. Somebody could take an axe and chop up dozens of people, or they could take an axe and chop up dozens of logs. It's all in the person and the intention of the usage. You know what I'm saying? So with technology, at one point in time, yeah, I could say I was, apprehensive as far as stepping up into the computerized and the things that are going on right now. But where I am now, I'm glad I made that decision not to stay where I was, because I would be that much further behind. So those who haven't made that transition yet, that are slow to transition into what's going on right now, are even further behind because they didn't make that transition the first time. So real quick, so let's think about it. So just think of, I graduated in the early 90s, 1992. The internet came on not too many years after that. So, but before that, it was all about the computer. Now, the thing about a computer is that when I was younger, people that was pretty, made pretty decent money had computers, what I'm saying? So whenever I went to somebody's house that had a computer, the main attraction to me was playing the games. I didn't know anything about the computer, summer games, Pac-Man, and, whatever games they had, that's what we played, and plus, you could make you a little banner that, what do they call it, dot matrix, the old school printer. So that was, that was computers. So actually, then I remember even wow, when we moved out to San Diego, my middle school I went to, my first one, they had one of the electives was computers. And I hated that class. I hated that class. I don't use the word hate, but I hated that class for whatever reason, because I had to pay attention. I couldn't just figure it out, come about it a certain way, come around the back door to get the answer. Nah. So I remember this one particular time they gave what I know now is code. Actually the computers that we learned on was the Apple IIc. The Apple IIc was the computer that we were using, and I remember they gave us a sheet of code or what it was code, but I don't know if we had to figure it out or what. But we had to enter it in correctly, and I remember the code was supposed to be a circle, but we put the code in incorrectly because we had to partner up, and we ended up having a continuous spiral. What I'm saying, that ran and ran and ran, and we would, oh man, we good. It looked good to us. And when the teacher came over there, oh yeah, what got at us? You're like, what? So what I'm saying. So what I know now, yeah, things are scientific. They're exact for their technology. So back then, what I'm saying, it was a thing of, man, I don't want to do this stuff, man. I just want to play the games. And I mean, oh, actually, you know what? The funnest game, Oregon Trail. That was the game. Yeah, whenever we got free time, man, I'm playing Oregon Trail. I'm hunting meats for my family. You know what I'm saying? So that was what computers were. But as far as doing anything else with them, I had no interest in it. I was like, man, let me play some games. If you type, or actually, you know what? Then typing. So back in the day, we had to have a typewriter. If we were going to type. So that's why I grew up with a typewriter. So then when we got a computer, I used a computer to get extra credit points, because back then when typing and everything, I'm not going to say it was rare, but it wasn't as common because we still hand wrote. And so a teacher would give us, 5 extra points if we typed it, or, 5 or 10 extra points. So I'm like, yeah, jump on the computer, type it out. So whatever my grade was cool, because I got 5 to 10 more extra points on top of it just for typing. So that's what I used the computer for. Then, yeah, it just kept going and going. And so then when the internet came online, so think about the people that didn't even touch a computer at the time that I touched it. And I didn't touch a computer in that capacity until like the mid 90s. So probably, honestly, about 10 years of computer development had taken place by the time I really sat down at a computer and put my fingers on the keys to learn it. Yeah, I'm self-taught, but I sat online. Got on the computer, sat down and learned, and then I learned how to get online. Then I learned how to operate the different systems and just build and build from there. But I'm never consider myself a computer guru, but I do know how to use one. So I think back to the generation, my parents' generation, when computers came around. They wanted none of it, man. I can understand why, because it's confusing and it's frustrating, because you type in something wrong, syntax error, and the other error messages we used to get. You hit the button, and what I'm saying, you think it's like a typewriter, so you just got to get used to that familiarity of the newer technology. So what people got to understand also and take into account is that whenever there's a new technology, it's built off the back of the older technology. So the older technology that's prevalent at that time of the introduction of the new technology has to sustain the new technology. Now the new technology can't run as smooth as it designed to run, because it's sitting on the back of an older technology. So once that older technology is phased out or revamped or revised to adapt to the newer technology, The newer technology is going to seem rickety and faulty and not good, and so on and so forth, until that older infrastructure catches up to the technology. So I had a good example one time. The person, when it came to talking about technologies, so they said that when they went from horses to cars. So if you think back in the early 1900s, or whenever they started mass producing cars and cars became more prevalent, everybody was on horses and buggies. And so if you think about what the roads were for horses and buggies, yeah, straight rocks, dirt, pretty much all terrain. You know what I'm saying? That to them, a smooth road is a beaten path. No grass. You know what I'm saying? They can see where they're going off in the distance, and that's where they're going to go. So if they came on the area where there was a smooth surface, man, I know they was loving it. But what I'm saying, you look at a wagon wheel is wood. Horses, I don't know what their hooves are made of, but in order for people to drive nails in them, for their horseshoes, I don't I don't know if it's cartilage or just like the bottom of somebody, like the black feet of a couch or something. But what I'm saying? So what ended up happening is that when cars, started coming on the road and people started seeing them, that it was scary to people. They were noisy, they stunk, what I'm saying? They weren't reliable, and by it being new, they didn't understand how to control it. They come from horses and carriages, and then they hop into something that's automatic, and you have a steering wheel with gears and levers and all kind of other things. I'm sure there's plenty of people got killed or mangled and so on and so forth from the cars. But the people the traditional people were highly against cars. They were like, man, these things are dangerous. They speeding, they're loud. What I'm saying? They're dirty. What I'm saying? They kick up dust, and we don't need this. So just think about the people that were purchasing the cars. They got this new technology, but they're using this new technology on this older infrastructure. So you got this new car riding on these old cobblestone roads, mud, I'm sure hay, wheat, just rocks and mud and just getting stuck. And so that looked pretty bad to people. So I'm sure people that may have contemplated getting a car, they saw so many troubles with that car, they were like, nah, I'm gonna stick to my horse and buggy. But once the old infrastructure adapted itself to the new technology, horses got phased out. Horses are still here, but they have their place. They're not used primarily they're not the preferred method of transportation, I shall say that. At least not to me. Last time I've been on a horse, I was probably, it was probably elementary school. They came to the school, we got on the horse, they walked around the yard, and whoo, that was outstanding. But so as I said, the new technologies are always introduced and built off of old infrastructure. So where we are right now, in this period of time, we're in a new era. This new era that we are in is built off of the infrastructure that we just left. Now, if you cannot comprehend that, you're going to be one that's going to be further behind. Again, this new technology and the way of life and the way things are going is built off of the infrastructure of this old system. Now, this old system has crumbled. You're just not aware of it yet. It has crumbled. So what these people are doing to you, they're walking around this crumbled up, broken down infrastructure with Scotch tape. They're walking around with Scotch tape, plugging holes, holding it together, and you see them with the Scotch tape in their hand and you don't say nothing. You're afraid to. Why? because you don't want somebody to know that you know that they're using Scotch tape. Now you're thinking differently that everybody that acts like they don't know what Scotch tape because it's clear. So it's truly a thing about you. That's where all this comes from is you. I'm just, talking and speaking. Like I said, this is my first show. And as things flow and things go, and I'm gonna stay more on point from, going forward but I have topics that I'm going to be expressing about. And as more people come along, we're going to engage and we're going to express and expose and share information. And the reason why I'm doing this for me, number one, because I know that I'm here to provide a service to you. If I have something that'll help you and benefit you, I'm obligated to share it. As I shared with you, I went through the elementary schools, the middle schools, I played sports, I've done dirt, I've done work, I've done many things. So for somebody, me, to get in front of a camera, to speak to you about what I'm going to be speaking to you about, it has to be a whole lot of love. A whole lot of love that's going to outshine all the hate. A whole lot of love. So, what I'm saying? I'm not even worried about the likes. I'm not worried about the views. All I know is I set my intentions and I've prepared myself behind the scenes for what's going to happen in front of the scenes. And it's just going to unfold as I vision. So this is going to be a very interesting ride. This is something new. And one thing I can tell you is that your greatest dreams are sitting exactly on the other side of your greatest fears. Your greatest dreams are sitting on the opposite side of your greatest fears. So I've been up here for an hour. I've done my goal. But I'm gonna schedule another one for tomorrow. I don't know what time. I'm gonna pick my subject and I'm going to send the alert out earlier. And yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get it. You know what I'm saying? Social media. You know what I'm saying? Friends, word of mouth. Stay tuned.